everybody do your best, Rick and Morty, before we go.
All right, Dan, you ready to go, Dan?
I don't know, Rick. I don't know. Can I mix the wrong voice with the?
Oh God. Okay, hold on. Before we get this ready?
On.
Okay, you do Rick.
Morty, we have to see who the new voice actors are for the show, Morty.
I'll be Rick.
What?
Dan, are you ready to see what the new actors look like?
Okay.
Were those
All right,
birds?
Rick.
Then he turned into a dog apparently when he burps.
It's fine, Rick. We can find out who the new voice actors are now, Rick.
Let's hear
Oh,
Rick.
Let's
hear
I
the
don't know what's
Jeez,
gonna
Rick.
happen.
Wait, I'm Rick. I'm not Morty.
Yeah, and
God
Rick has
damn it.
multiple
God
Mortys.
damn it, you
Come
messed it up
on,
again.
have you not seen the show?
Hey, look, Morty! I'm a leg! A leg, Morty!
Any progress? I found the version of me that killed my wife. You just missed it.
Can I ask if you're currently a hologram?
Yeah, hold on. 1 sec. Do we know anyone sober? Have you been drinking?
On a Thursday?
How long does a society take to collapse?
Let's find out.
I'm telling you, man, you're making a big mistake here.
Who's ready for Rick's famous spaghetti? I said I was sorry.
No, you didn't.
I said it quietly. Shut up.
Dad, you had a job interview, right?
Bombed it. Whose car is this? Whose sun visor is this? What's a sun?
I was wondering if you could help me out with a bit of a rake situation.
A rake situation.
Well, that last one was just for shock value.
What do you say, Rick? To fly through space, come upon something, maybe I have a moral objection?
Rick and Morty, we're back, baby.
Rick and Morty, new season premieres Sunday, October 15th at 11 p.m. only on Adult Swim.
I have thoughts.
Okay.
The season of bringing back extras
Okay.
that people enjoyed.
So sometimes the voice is really good. It looks like this Rick can't maintain the Rick voice when he's yelling. He's doing it fine and like speaking, but then he
Yeah.
couldn't do it afterwards. But
I
hey,
noticed more Morty slip it out midway through,
Morty
like,
doesn't sound like Morty all the way, but Rick
Right.
when he'd yell, it was very, very. It was like, I'm Rick. I'm a guy named Tony now. Hey, I'm Tony. It's like it's different than Rick all of a sudden.
Right.
I just
Hey,
like
Tony.
I'm a leg.
That is the most Rick and Morty way to start that trailer, that's for sure.
I'm excited. It looks like a lot of jokes and stuff like that. I read into an interview. They asked why they never really kept going the overarching plots because they started making those. And they just didn't want it. They didn't want to do those. They didn't want it to become like a chore to watch Rick and Morty. So they just do
It's better
one per
without.
season now.
It's way better without the big arcs when it comes to Rick and Morty. Because the nice thing about Rick and Morty was it had that kind of humor and short stories that you didn't have to watch it in order. And
Yeah.
I like it's not a show you want to watch in order. It's like one of those ones you enjoy going, all right, which episode are we gonna get this time?
I'm gonna go and I'll be the alternative here. I really like the serialized episodes. I don't dislike the other ones either. I love them all, but I really like the serialized stuff, the like long running overarching plot. Obviously, they really jumped the shark in the last couple seasons and they made it more. They hated doing it, so they wanted to make sure you don't like it either. Or they're like, yeah, we're gonna have to do another stupid plot focused episode. And then I love that they're like, yeah, actually, that flashback that was a joke 4 seasons ago, it's my actual backstory. Now leave me alone.
Right. Wait, so I want to quickly clarify, Hassan. Are you a fan of when it's like each episode, like it's all part of a giant story? Or are you more of I prefer the short stories, but in the background, there is that overarching plot keeping connected with everything?
I like both.
question.
I really like both. There are the one-offs that I really appreciate that have nothing to do with anything at all. Like there's the one where there's like, oh no, the decoy family, and then it just keeps going, and the decoy family is another decoy family. It's incredible, and that has little to nothing to do with anything. It has my favorite ending of anything. I'm Mr. Always Wants to Be Hunted. Hunt me. And then he like kills Rick in the end. He's like, wait, did we tee you up? Is this a payoff to something? And he's like, you should have hunted me. It's so
You should have hunted
dumb.
me.
It's so dumb. Yeah, I like both. Honestly, I've been one of those people that people really hate Rick and Morty fans, and they hate Rick and Morty now. It's like a very popular thing to dislike. I've liked it the whole time. Like I think the Mr. Nimbus episode as a return to form, what was it, like last season or maybe it was the season before or whatever, but it was like
2 seasons.
Wow, this is a real funny opener. This is like incredible. The Hoovy, Narnia time portal, all of that. So yeah, I like everything across the board, but I really like the serialized stuff. I think that the characters are compelling enough to care where they're going to end up, you know?
I actually side more with you. If they had leaned more into the serial, I think I would have enjoyed it more. But I do agree with Dan that I like the short stories. I felt like if they were going to go away from the serialized stuff, I feel like they should have just wrapped it and then just gone back to Monster of the Week style episodes, you know? I don't like that it's still there and we haven't fully resolved it because we just don't want to, you know?
It definitely feels like there's gonna be an overarching plot in the sense that clearly they're recruiting a team and they're going to keep that team for a while because they showed that in quite a few scenes. So either they gave us an entire single episode or we're going to see the adventures of Rick and friends.
No, they make those trailers up, man. Those trailers have little to no footage from the actual show.
Well, true. They usually do show.
I was like, I guarantee there is no. I'm a leg, Morty. Maybe it's a cold open, but like there's no.
I doubt. See, because they don't want you to know the cold open, so they come out. By the way, the new voice is Dan Stevens. I don't know if you guys know him from anything else.
Isn't he? I heard rumors it was a YouTuber that did the voice very well.
No, Dan Stevens is an actor. He plays Corvo on Solar Opposites and other stuff too.
Yeah.
He's in like a lot of Hallmark stuff. He was in the Beauty and Beast movie, like the live action one. I don't know who he played, but he was in it.
He was Beast. He was the He was the Beast, but but in his human form.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he's super handsome. Good for him.
No, this is not the guy that I thought I heard about. Yeah, I've seen this guy in a lot. He's one of those actors that when you see him, you're like, oh, I've seen him in stuff. What have you seen him in? I don't really know.
Reminds me of the time I saw Sean Gunn on the airplane where I'm sitting next to him like, I know his face, but I have no idea where from.
Right.
And I had to actually ask him. I was like, look, this is going to sound bad. I know you, but I don't know where I know you from. And the funniest thing was his first thing was, oh yeah, I wear the Rocket Raccoon green screen suit. I'm like, wait, I'm
not that he's on Gilmore Girls,
like first mate. I'm like, that's how I know you.
He's also
hilarious that was
also from Gilmore Girls. And the other day, I was watching The Good Doctor because I needed some real trash medical drama to put on, and Sean Gunn was in an episode out of nowhere. They like roll him in on a stretcher. It's like, is that Sean Gunn on The Good Doctor? Yeah, this guy's face is really, really familiar.
Yeah, he's one of those you know him from a lot of stuff. You just don't know that you know him from a lot of stuff. He's one of those guys. I'm trying to find like one thing in particular that like stands out to me as like this is his thing.
So here's my fear with this guy. It's that I'm not super familiar with his comedic background, and I do think a lot of Rick and Morty was improv. Like a lot of Justin Roiland was just going back for Morty, Rick, whatever. They're just like going back and forth, yelling at each other and stuff. And that was him doing that. I wonder if he'd be capable of that.
I can tell you right now where you both probably recognize it from. He's Legion. The FX show.
That's what the comment sections were saying. I didn't watch Legion, so.
Oh, well, you saw the previews, I bet you.
I did. I've seen, yeah.
I've been trying to find what show.
I know, it's just while you were looking, I went, oh, he's in Legion.
Oh, okay. So I missed that. My bad. But yeah, no, I remember seeing his face on that. That was probably the most prominent thing I've seen him on. I do remember him as Beast in Beauty and the Beast because Natalie loves that movie.
Yeah.
There's this scene.
I agree with Hassan though. Just real quick on what you were saying of the improv. That this season definitely is going to be feels like it's going to be less improv and it's going to be heavily reliant on the comedic timing and delivery of lines in what is actually written, as opposed to what you're saying of that kind of improv thing where it's just, this is the most ridiculous thing. Like it's funny because of that. So hopefully he will be able to make the magic with those scripts. So
we really have to see how that's going to work out, because that is such a daunting task, right? To be able, because a show that is built upon the backbone of being able to improvise and have fun, no longer having that element will take a hit. It will absolutely take a dip in quality, even if the writing is superb. One of the best things about having a writer that is also actor, voice actor talent is that they're in the writer's room in their own mind, right? They can do that. Justin Roiland's a little scumbag. I hate that he ruined that for everybody else, but we'll see. They recasted him in
well, actually,
New Adventure Time as well.
I want to talk about that. He's apparently been completely cleared, and there's nothing. He didn't do anything.
Yeah,
So
but in
it's-
between they leaked out plenty of other stuff too. It was like
Plus,
it was
it's
like the floodgate of
public
that
opinion.
thing open, and he got cleared of that, and then simultaneously people were like showing him DMing inappropriate, either mean or like genuinely inappropriate things to like children and shit. So he decided, oh,
Well,
I'm Morty, I'm gonna ruin my career. Morty, watch Morty.
Well, and what I want to bring
Oh.
up is, regardless of other things that you have seen or claimed or whatever, the only thing that he was actually being charged with was the domestic violence things,
Mhm.
which what I want to talk about. Because I mean, everyone's got a history of bullshit, whatever they could find or whatever. And I'm not saying he's in the clear. I haven't seen any of that other stuff. But
Right.
what I am saying is, how do we feel about he lost all of his work before the trial? And it was regardless of what has come out now, Hassan, was related to domestic violence charges, very much like how Jonathan Majors got right now.
Jonathan Majors, Johnny Depp, if
Right.
you remember
They
back at the
lost
start
all
of that.
their
That's
work
the
before, and
Yeah.
so far, Justin Roiland and Johnny Depp both were like, "No, we didn't do it," and we got cleared by the jury. And from what I'm hearing, and this is also up in the air, I don't fully know, but Jonathan Majors is looking like it's also going to just get thrown out.
Yeah.
How do we feel about the culture that we're in now, where Justin Roiland lost Rick and Morty, probably his biggest paying gig,
Look,
and
I'm
and the reason he was fired isn't valid.
I'm gonna ask just by saying it's a company's right? Like especially like a TV property or whatever, or what like entertainment, to get rid of anything that might hurt its reputation. That's
Right,
their right
and
to
I
do
agree.
that. So I think it's
But
fine. that
should he
they-
have come back afterwards?
I mean, that's up to the company, right? James Gunn was fired from some old tweets, and then they were like, "These tweets are silly. You guys are being ridiculous." They brought James Gunn back, right? And there were repercussions of that. Now James Gunn's in charge of DC. Pretty
Yeah.
big consequences because of all that. It's really up in the air because now we're in this world where we hear allegations and story constantly, and we don't know. We don't have one semblance of what the truth is. Like with Jonathan Majors, right? There's this a video going viral of him right now breaking up like children fighting, and it was this really funny bit on TikTok where somebody was like, "Somebody get the camera. I'm gonna pretend to do something great. Everybody record this or whatever," because it's so like, who was randomly recording Jonathan Majors walking up on some random school, breaking up two kids from fighting, and like, "Hey, it's gonna be okay." Very PR stunty, but also you got to remember.
I'm gonna say real quick, that sounds less PR stunt and more people had cameras out hoping he would do something worse,
Right.
And be the first person to get that on TikTok. Of,
Either way,
I saw him punch a child in the face.
we got to remember, especially through these actors, writers strike negotiations, these studios couldn't care less about the moral truth. They care about the bottom dollar, right?
That's a
And
really good
Jonathan
point.
Jonathan Majors is a money maker, right? So exonerating him in any way possible, putting that budget behind him is worth backing, right? Like, I'm not super in the weeds and the intricacies of it. I've learned a lot about it through Neb and other things, but between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, there's a lot of that narrative that has shifted dramatically since after the trial. A lot of it was spin campaigns, and we ran with it. I ran with it. I can say I was guilty of that. I threw out some Johnny Depp jokes. It sounds like she was far less in the wrong and he was severely in the wrong, but it's about these spin campaigns. And now Johnny Depp will probably get a Disney movie again. He'll probably get that.
I saw
So-
recently stuff came out and some attempt to get Amber Heard hit harder. Johnny Depp and more stuff about him leaked out.
Yeah.
It's like no
Yeah.
one's in the clear. All
No,
actors. are
it-
shitty.
it
What-
was
Dan,
all
what were you
really
gonna
rough.
say? I see
Yeah,
your face.
I've been wanting to say something real quick for a while. I feel like honestly, when it comes to celebrities and this kind of thing, when it truly comes down to it with their career, actual laws mean absolutely nothing. At the end of the day, it all goes based off of what the audience likes and dislikes. I think Justin Roiland, I think the fans that everyone hated with Rick and Morty made a lot of people very readily go, finally, this is my way to shut those people up. I'm going to go ahead and just jump on that. And because people didn't like him, it was instantly believed of everything that happened. And that was it. Everyone decided. It's just like with the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. Long ago, when it first came out, a lot of people just heard what came out and immediately they go, okay, this is my opinion. This is how it goes. After the Johnny Depp trial, people like it showed that a lot of people liked Johnny Depp. So at the end of the day, and this kind of goes with the James Gunn as well, if you get cleared and you're popular enough, you'll make a recovery.
Yeah.
If you're not popular and you get cleared, like, no offense, Jonathan Majors, it's not going to happen because people went into that going, man, I did not like Ant-Man Quantumania. Kang was not good in that. This gives me an excuse to dislike that and try and force the company to change it into something that I might like instead. And I feel like when it comes to celebrities and that entire environment, it really is, how does the audience perceive it? Like when it comes to the spin campaigns, which one can you spin towards to make people sympathize with them? And then now that they're sympathizing with them, they're looking back and going, you know what? I really liked what he did in Pirates of the Caribbean. And people start reminiscing of these, gets their popularity back. Then the movie companies are just like, hey, yeah, like, you're in the news. You were good. You want to come on? Like, it's that kind of thing. And when that happens, a lot of these people, unless they're kind of in the boat of Johnny Depp, where I believe he was like, I'm done. Like, this is kind of over. Most of those people would be like, yes, I will accept most of this work because I need to get back in.
Yeah,
kind
Justin
of going
Roiland,
off of,
he's not going to have a studio backing him. Like, nobody cared about Justin Roiland at the end of
Johnny
that.
Depp is 60 years old. He's definitely let himself go. I think the problem with Justin Roiland is he's not a face that people know or the name that people know unless you were already in the weeds with Rick
I'm going
and
to say
Morty.
it. I'll say it pretty frankly. He's just kind of an unattractive, nerdy dude, known for being hilarious in some circumstance, and then all the other one being an asshole. And it's a funny kind of asshole at times.
Right.
But you got to imagine that
It's like the Dan Harmon problem. That's why they got
which,
likes.
dude,
say Dr. Disrespect.
Dan, don't bring up Dr. Disrespect. That guy sucks for so many reasons. Dan Harmon is one of those guys that I know one day there's going to be a skeleton pulled from this man's closet for all of us to see, because even the stuff we do know are not great. He's had to do a public apology for something that he did inappropriate back in the day. It worked out because, God damn it, Dan Harmon is one of the most talented men on the planet when it comes to writing. He created the hero's journey story structure and refined it to like the nth degree in his storytelling between Community and Rick and Morty. And like, the MCU exists because of Dan Harmon. Frankly, the MCU in its current state, in every facet of it, the Russo brothers, Dan Harmon, all together, huge thing. But yeah, he's one of those guys that eventually he will definitely, I hope not, but he'll eventually get wiped near. I hope he's actually great and nothing bad has happened. But with Justin Roiland, he's a funny voice actor, really funny voice actor. He voices like Mr. I always want to be hunted. Hunt me. That guy is voiced by Justin Roiland. Mr. Poopy Butthole. Mr. Like, all those random characters are him. Garbage Goober is my favorite character.
But all right, I'm going to close it up here though, because at this point we've all kind of agreed. I feel like Justin Roiland should have gotten another shot at it, but you're 100% right, Hassan. The studio doesn't give a shit. That's why they just get rid of him. He's a potential liability. And the fact is he won't come back because the studio moved forward and no one knows who the hell Justin Roiland is unless you're like in the weeds like we are. I mean, you don't see kids go into I want the new Justin Roiland shirt, but you do see them say, I want the new Kang shirt. I want the new, what was his name in Creed 3? But like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
fully agree. And I think potentially the only reason he won that case, he is worth a lot of money. So like, keep that in mind too. Settlements are a thing. They're all private. So
I mean, yeah, but we're not going to go to the weeds on that one right now. But thank you for watching today's episode of Absolutely, our reaction to Rick and Morty. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time right here.